We are a species obsessed with rules. We look up at the chaos of the night sky, and we desperately try to put it into neat, comprehensible boxes. We write absolute laws of physics. We build rigid models of planetary formation. We tell ourselves that rocky worlds belong close to the warmth of their parent star, and that giant spheres of gas belong out in the freezing dark. We tell ourselves that the universe is a clockwork mechanism, predictable, safe. We tell ourselves that when a massive star dies, it takes its children with it into the abyss. This is the order we rely on. It comforts us. It makes us feel like the void is something we can measure, something we can ultimately control. But the universe is not a machine. It is a monster. And sometimes, deep in the uncharted dark, it creates things that shatter our rules entirely. It builds monuments to chaos. Deep in the constellation of Virgo, 2,300 light-years from the safety of Earth, there is an anomaly, a cosmic ghost. It is a planet that fundamentally breaks the laws of stellar evolution. By every metric, by every mathematical model we possess, this world should have been vaporized billions of years ago. It should not exist, but it does. To understand the sheer, terrifying impossibility of this world, you must first understand the violence of its neighborhood. This planet does not orbit a normal star. It orbits a corpse, a rapidly spinning, terrifyingly dense remnant of a dead sun known as a pulsar. When a massive star runs out of nuclear fuel, it does not die quietly. It collapses inward under the weight of its own crushing gravity, and then rebounds in the most devastating explosion known to physics, a supernova. The blast wave from a supernova is so incomprehensibly powerful that it obliterates everything within its reach. The heat is unimaginable. The shock wave tears through the fabric of space at a fraction of the speed of light. Any planets orbiting that star are subjected to an apocalyptic fire. Their atmospheres are instantly stripped away. Their oceans boil into nothingness. Their crusts are shattered into dust, and their very cores are vaporized into subatomic memory. Nothing survives the death of a massive star. Nothing. And yet, in the early 1990s, when astronomers pointed their radio telescopes at the Pulsar PSR B1257+12, they heard a rhythm, a perfectly timed rapid-fire pulse of radiation sweeping across the cosmos like a lighthouse in the dark. But the rhythm was flawed. It was stuttering. There was a minuscule wobble in the dead star's spin. Something was pulling on the corpse. Something massive. When the astronomers calculated the math, the scientific community froze. There was not just one object hidden in the lethal radiation of the dead star. There were three fully formed planets orbiting in the graveyard of an obliterated solar system. We named them Draugr, Poltergeist, and Phobator, mythological creatures of the undead, demons of the dark, because that is exactly what they are. Poltergeist, the most massive of the three, is roughly 4 times the mass of Earth. It is a heavy, dense sphere of rock and metal, spinning obediently around a star that exploded billions of years ago. How is it there? How does a rock survive a fire that can outshine an entire galaxy? The first theory is one of agonizing endurance. Perhaps these planets were the original children of the star. Perhaps they endured the supernova. Their outer layers were boiled away in the blast, leaving behind only their scorched, heavy iron cores. Naked, bleeding worlds, stripped of everything that made them planets, stubbornly refusing to die in the apocalyptic fire. They held their ground while the universe tried to erase them. But physics tells us this is almost impossible. The concussive force of the blast should have pushed them away into the interstellar void, untethering them from the dead star and turning them into wandering rogue planets. So we arrive at the second theory, a theory that is even more terrifying and profoundly beautiful. Perhaps these planets did not survive the death of their star. Perhaps they were born from it. Imagine the aftermath of the supernova. A violent, swirling cloud of heavy metals, radioactive ash, and shattered planetary debris spinning violently around the newly formed pulsar. A graveyard of shattered worlds. Over millions of years, this bloody, radioactive dust began to clump together. Gravity, the relentless, unfeeling architect of the cosmos, took the ashes of dead planets and forged them into something new. Second-generation planets. Zombie worlds, built entirely from the bones of their predecessors. If you were to stand on the surface of Poltergeist, what would you see? You would not see a sky of blue. You would not feel the gentle warmth of a yellow sun. You would be standing in a permanent, freezing twilight. The sky above you would be an aurora of violent, radioactive fire. The pulsar at the center of the system is tiny, barely 20 kilometers across, roughly the size of a city on Earth. But it is so unimaginably dense that a single teaspoon of its matter would weigh billions of tons. And it spins. It spins thousands of times a minute. With every rotation, it sweeps twin beams of deadly, high-energy radiation across its planets. It is a relentless, strobing nightmare in the sky. The radiation on the surface is so intense that if a human were to step out of a spacecraft, their cellular structure would unravel in a fraction of a second. Their DNA would be shredded instantly. It is a world bathed in a constant torrent of X-rays and gamma rays. The ground beneath your boots would be heavily irradiated, solid metal or dense, scorched rock. There is no water, there is no air, there is only the deafening, eternal silence of space, and the terrifying, rhythmic sweeping of the dead star's beam. It is a place of absolute hostility, a monument to the extreme limits of nature, and yet, its very existence forces us to confront a deeply unsettling question. If planets can form here, in the most violent, radioactive, chaotic environment imaginable, where else are they hiding? Before the discovery of Poltergeist and its undead siblings, we thought planetary systems were rare. We thought they required calm, stable, peaceful stars, like our own sun. We thought the universe was mostly empty, and that creation required a gentle touch. But the ghost planets proved us entirely wrong. They taught us that the universe is aggressively, ruthlessly creative. It does not need calm. It does not need peace. It will build worlds out of the wreckage of cosmic cataclysms. It will forge planets in the absolute fires of hell. This revelation fundamentally alters the psychology of the human observer. When we look up at the night sky now, we don't just see a quiet tapestry of distant lights. We see a violent, churning engine of creation and destruction. Every explosion, every collision, every dying star is not just an end. It is a furious, bloody beginning. We are forced to realize that our own existence in the quiet, safe suburbs of the Milky Way is not the standard. It is a profound luxury. We live in a sheltered garden, shielded by our yellow sun and our magnetic field, entirely blind to the true, brutal nature of the cosmos. But why are we so drawn to this impossible planet? Why do we name it after poltergeists and demons, and then study it with such intense, obsessive fascination? It is because Poltergeist represents the ultimate survivor. In the psychology of our species, there is a deep, primal respect for anything that refuses to be annihilated. We look at this heavily irradiated rock spinning dutifully around the corpse of its mother star, and we see absolute defiance. It is a world that looked at the total destruction of a supernova and simply remained. It challenges our arrogance. We build our mathematical models, we write our textbooks, and we declare with absolute certainty what is and is not possible. And the universe responds by showing us a world of radioactive ash spinning around a dead, flashing core. It reminds us that our science is just a fragile candle in the dark, a tiny circle of light trying to illuminate a boundless, terrifying forest. There are things out there that we cannot predict. Worlds made of solid diamond, planets raining liquid glass, and spheres of scorched iron dancing with the dead. As we continue to push our telescopes deeper into the void, we will inevitably find more things that should not exist. We will find objects that break our fundamental laws of physics, anomalies that force us to tear up our textbooks and start over from the beginning. And that is not a failure of human intelligence. It is the beautiful, terrifying privilege of exploration. We are a small, fragile species, bound to a single rock, trying desperately to understand an infinite abyss. We are surrounded by monsters. We are surrounded by ghosts, but we do not close our eyes. We do not look away from the impossible. Instead, we build better eyes. We peer deeper into the lethal radiation. We actively seek out the things that frighten us, the things that completely shatter our understanding of reality. Because deep down, we know the fundamental truth. The universe is not obligated to make sense to us. It is not bound by our rules, our comfort, or our logic. The impossible planet exists as a silent, spinning warning, a monument to the sheer, untamed power of the cosmos. It tells us that creation does not only happen in the light. Sometimes, the most enduring things in the entire universe are born in the darkest, most terrifying fires. And they will still be there, spinning quietly in the freezing dark, long after we are entirely gone.